Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, all. I hope everyone is having a meow-gical day. Hi, Chelsea.
Hi, Sandy. I know I'm having a good morning.
Oh, that is so perfect. Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Wacky Wednesday at my sewing room. And today, Chelsea and I want to thank you very much for joining us on Facebook and YouTube. And we have a few special spooky shout outs today. All right, so we'd like to say hi. Look, there's Tina B online. Good morning, Tina. Shout out to Teresa W, Nancy C, Carol D, Ann L, Chris L, Judy V.O., Helen O, our Ruth. There she is.
There's Ruth.
There's
Morning,
the girl.
Ruth.
Glenda I, Sandy A, and Pia G. Anyways, thank you all for joining us this morning. And thank you for your likes and your loves and all your sharing that you do and the comments that you give us. It keeps Chelsea and I going. Just
sure
to
does.
know that there's people out there that listen.
It really makes us purr.
Oh, it does. Oh, she's so good. I like when she plays along and we do this whole thing. Anyways, we are going to have a Meow-Gical show today as we're going to carry on with our Meow-Gical Night quilt kit that we started yesterday. But before we start, I need a joke. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so
Okay.
ready, Sandy.
What kind of cat lives in the water?
A catfish?
Ooh, that is awesome.
Oh, is that right?
Well, also an octopus.
Oh, that's good.
Anyways, let's get started. Let's have a look at what we've been creating. And this is our Meow-Gical Night quilt kit. And yesterday we opened it up and told you all about all the fabrics that you found in it, the panel, the borders, the outside border, and then it gave us a choice of whether we wanted to make a checkered board one.
Or this one.
Or
with
that
the nice
one.
little
Or
triangles.
I'm not sure what they called this, offset brick.
You could also call that other checkerboard one.
Other checkerboard one, that's right. But we used the half square triangle design, and we had a lot of fun making the half square triangle. So the first thing we did yesterday was to square our panel and make sure that it was the size that they required for our pattern. Mm-hmm. And if it didn't, she gave us that cool idea of adding coping strips to make sure that they were the right size for what we were going to do. And then we took our gray fabric and our orange dotted fabric and we made our half square triangles.
They turned out so cute.
They did. They turned out lovely. And of course, if you remember, we've done these before. You put the right sides together, mark a line in the diagonal on the light colored one or one that will show up with your marker. Then you sew a 1/4 inch on either side and then slice it down the marked line.
And then carefully press your bias.
And Chelsea knows because pressing is her thing and she does it well.
I like ironing.
Yep.
It's
And
very calming.
we don't want it stretched too much because we've got that bias. So we wanted to make sure that it fits in nicely with our top. All right. So then, it was where we left off yesterday. And I said, by the magic of the camera, we were going to work on borders today. So our first inner border that we're using is with the black. I might I'm not sure which side you want to cut off, is with the black strip. And they tell you what size to cut it for the strips to make it the size of the quilt that's on the pattern. Now, of course, here comes Sandy. She says, oh my God, I've got extra fabric because Dawn gave us just so much that we can play with. So I've made my strips just a little bit bigger, half-inch bigger.
The other option is you do have room for accidents in this pattern, which is good.
It's perfect.
There's room for squaring up and rooms for, oops, I slipped while I'm cutting.
In case you have a catastrophe and then it's just not working. So anyway, she gave us lots. So I've made my quilt top just a little bit bigger. And so we
cut yours at 2?
I did. I cut mine at 2, which is different than the pattern. All right. And so I've done a little bit of pre-cutting. So we only need 2 strips at the moment. If you were to cut it as you would for the pattern, because I've already done cutting, 1, 2, 3, 4, we'd need 5 of those strips.
So there's 1.
But I cheated a little bit and got a head start on it.
You know what I always find fun, Sandy, is when I have these rulers and they have the 1/2 inch.
Yeah.
I have the accent a lot of time of doing this.
Yeah, and get an extra 1/2 inch
Double
on
check
there.
your ruler before
Yes,
you
please do.
start cutting.
Make sure that it's the right size for the pattern, and the pattern does give you the width of these strips.
And if you have enough fabric, you could also just roll with it in theory.
Yep. Roll with it. Okay, if you're going to roll with it, remember that your quilt will end up a different size than the one that she's got on the pattern. So please be careful of what backing you buy, because I just bought for what size she made, and then I realized, oh, I need more because I made it bigger.
Sandy
so
was
maybe
doing some fun
excitement there for a moment. So thankfully we had more of that fabric. Anyways, so if you're making it by the pattern, great, but I always recommend waiting to get the backing and the binding until you have the actual physical finished sizes.
I like that idea, Sandy.
All right, so now
there's our 2 strips.
2 strips. Okay, so I'll show you what
they're
we
big
did.
enough?
Yeah, they were big enough to go. So what I did, and I'll show you, you want to put camera?
Yeah.
I will show you that I started putting on our borders because I figured we don't have all the time in the world, but so I started with the 1 strip on this edge of the panel. Then I did a strip on the edge of this side of the panel. Then I put our 1/2 square triangles on, and I did 1 more border. So I put on all the inside black borders. So when I said that you had to cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I put the first 3 on because now we'll show you how to put the top and bottom border on. Okay?
Fantastic.
All right, sweet. So we have those strips. So I'm going to lay this out, and Chelsea's going to measure to make sure that our pieces are the right size for our top.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that I measured correctly and I thought this through, that 1 strip will make it, and we just have to trim it to size, right?
I've somehow already gotten a cluttery table.
You know
I
what
don't know
this
how
happens.
this happens.
You know what? I'll move some of this stuff out of the way because we probably won't need it for a
Very
minute.
good at collecting. All right.
All
so
right.
let's measure. And we don't want to measure right at the end.
No.
Because we have a tendency to potentially
Wobble
stretch,
slightly
wobble.
at the end.
If you were doing this on a quilt that had horizontal seams, you could measure straight across the seam.
Right, and we didn't have one on the panel because the panel, of course, we were running vertically.
So this is lining up at 34 inches even.
Perfect.
So I'm going to give it 1 more measure.
Okay.
Maybe another 2. We'll see.
Yeah, and see how we're doing. Make sure the bottom is the same as the top because we can cut both of those border strips at the same time.
Go kind of in the center.
Okay. Okay, so we're pretty close. We're out at about an
34
eighth.
and 7/8.
Okay, so we're out by an eighth right
Or
at the
33 and 7/8, sorry.
So we're out by a little snicker in the middle, but I'm not going to worry it too much. And that's 34.
34.
So I sucked it in a little around the middle. Ooh, who doesn't do that now and then?
I think we'll go with the number 34.
Sounds marvelous. Okay, so now we're going to cut those 2 strips at 34.
And we're going to use the same measuring tape there.
Okay.
And
take our salvages off.
We'll take these salvages off. I guess I could have done that before I split them apart.
No problem. We'll get this.
All right, there we go. And I'm going to cut off the ones off of here and the other one while I'm at it.
Well, yeah. Trim off the salvages off your border.
It's nice having a fresh blade.
Fresh blades are nice. Lovely. It doesn't skip and doesn't pull on the threads. It's wonderful. Okay, while she's doing that.
I forgot there was a new blade in there.
Oh, I like it. And that's something that we should do quite often, and that's replace our blades the same as we replace our blades on our needles on our machines, so that you get a good firm cut.
Well, and it's better for your wrists, better for your cutting mats. Just better in general.
Better in general. I like it.
So I think we can measure both of these at the same time. I'm just going to stack them.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Now, it looks like I do have a bit of a bump in my fold. I might iron that out.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because then it's just going to make measuring easier.
Yes, I concur.
As I start throwing things.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, we're just going to take that little bump where the center is on it. Okay, while she's doing the lovely folding or unfolding of my fabric there.
The
unfolding. What animal has more lives than a cat? A frog. It croaks every night.
And
that's a bad one. All right. Okay, so we've got it. Now we're going to do some measuring. We're going to get 34 inches on our 2 strips.
So I'm just going to line our 2 strips up in the camera, not below the camera.
So you can see where we're working.
And I'm just going to line the ends of them up together so then I can measure them at the same time.
Good.
Because you could measure them separately if you want. I'm just doing this because then I can be lazy.
I don't think it's lazy. I think you still have to make sure that it's lined up beautifully.
This is true.
Oh, okay.
At least then if I have an accident, it's both of them.
Yeah, they're both the same. You don't have to worry about it.
They are the same. All right, so we're going to go out to 34 inches.
Okay.
And you want to make sure you're not like stretching your measuring tape. 34 inches.
You know what? I'm glad you got a pin, because I was going to say, I didn't bring my marker pencil today.
All right.
All right, perfect. So that's what we need. Now the side ones were a different length because, of course, the panel was longer than it is wide. So our side strips were longer than 34 inches, but you make them to fit whatever panel size you made when you trimmed your panel.
So I'm just going to line up my ruler right against that pin I put in.
Okay.
Pull the pin out.
Perfect. And
chop it up.
All right, so now we're ready to...
Now we have accident pieces.
Yes, just in case.
All right,
so now we're going to start pinning them onto our...
So
belt.
Maybe what I'll do first is I'll mark our centers.
Okay.
Of these strips.
Okay.
And I like throwing pins in to mark my centers.
Okay.
So I fold in half, and then I'll open it up.
And put the pin on your center.
And there's 2 reasons I like to do this. One, if I stop working on my project, my fold doesn't disappear.
Yes, and you don't have to start again. This way it's...
The second reason is when I go to pin this onto my project, the pins are already there.
That is so good. All right.
So I'm marking my quarter points here. So I'm going to put 3 pins in total.
Sounds marvelous. Just mesmerizing watching your hands work.
Is it?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, I see Glenda came on this morning as well. Hi, Glenda.
We should start a meditating with Chelsea.
I think so.
We just sit here
and
we put pins in fabric and we iron fabric.
And we just stay calm and relaxed and enjoy it.
Nothing's rushed.
Nothing's rushed. It's all good, right, Chelsea?
It is.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to lie, this is not how I sew in my sewing area at home.
Yeah,
a lot of it's the den of chaos.
Okay, yeah. Well, that sometimes happens. I have my dining room table at the moment, so thank goodness Thanksgiving's over. I can have my table back.
Oh, that's nice.
And then I stomp upstairs to where the iron and the sewing machine is. So I have a cutting area and I have a sewing area.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's good, because I don't have a big enough table in my sewing room to like lay this out and do it. So I do cut in my dining room.
You know, I based quilts in my dining room.
Okay.
I attach borders, like I pin them in my dining room too. I just find it so much easier to do it down there.
To have the space, right? To
make
sure it's off and it's not sliding and while you're trying to pin it.
Then I don't have to work on the floor.
That's right. Okay, so here,
I don't want to do that.
Here, my dear.
All right, so Sandy marked our center.
Well,
She folded us in. Kind of?
Kind of. I don't think it was quite.
So we're folding.
I wiggled it.
We're just going to fold our quilt top in half here.
Yeah, just so that you can match centers, because we're trying to make sure that we start in the center, but we end on the ends, and everything else has to kind of fit in between. I like it. Okay.
All right, so we marked one center. Fold in.
This is very good. How to put on the borders. And do measure as you go, because even with the most perfect sewing,
accidents happen.
Yeah, you don't always get exactly the same results as what a pattern might give you, but don't panic.
It's okay.
It's okay, because you know what? You just make it for the size you got.
You know, that's a really interesting thing is we teach that in our quilting first class.
Oh, do you? Oh, sweet.
Yeah, because
okay.
Everyone winds up on your first quilt. You always have some interesting seam allowances. Sometimes, depending on how long you've been sewing. And one of the things is kind of custom making parts of your blocks.
That's true, and it's not only just for beginner sewers who are learning to quilt, but when you encounter a new pattern where you have not made that block before, there is always a chance that you might not make each one of them perfectly the same. So, you know, you do your absolute best. And then I have always learned that by the time you're done, you find the smallest block and you make everybody else fit to it. So that way, you know, everybody is of equal size when you're done.
Yeah, and then it's less frustrating, less easing in the end. Yeah. So all I'm doing here is I'm matching my pins. And then I'm going to go to my ends. I don't know why. I just like working center out and then moving to the ends after.
I think that's a marvelous idea, because that kind of, if there's extra that needs to be absorbed from sewing, then it's equal on either side of the quilt. So you don't have a fold in the middle.
True. And then I like to do pinning my border to the side. It doesn't matter what size border I'm working with. I always do this. Because otherwise I find sometimes my borders go.
Yeah.
And they go at this weird angle.
Thing going up. Yeah, I agree. And you know what? I did that when I was putting on these borders yesterday.
Yeah.
And I did the Chelsea trick with pins. And it works. Let me tell you.
I like it.
It works.
I find it helpful.
Yeah, very helpful. Right.
Sandy, do you want me to pin the other border and then we can
start sew? Sure. Okay.
That actually looks pretty.
That looks pretty awesome there, girl.
All right, let's pin this other one.
Pin the other one, and while she's pinning, I'll tell you another joke.
Oh, yes, please, Sandy.
Okay, here it comes. Why are cats afraid of trees?
I don't know, Sandy.
Because of their bark. All right. While my dear Chelsea is doing that, I will just remind you that all this week we are having something called social sewing. And right now we actually have an in-store audience. So shout out to the sew girls. Hi! Woo! Yeah, there they are. So yeah, please join us for social sewing. It's held in our classroom area. We are here until Saturday, the 26th. It starts at 10:30 in the morning and goes till 4:30. It's $10 plus tax, and you get to bring your friends, and you get to sew and have a good time.
You know, Sandy,
Yep.
if I was going to go to social sewing and I was going to gather my friends, I'd pick you.
Oh, and I would come, Chelsea. That sounds like fun. Unfortunately, we seem to always be working.
Yes, we do seem to be doing that.
Always working. Anyways, it's all wonderful. So that's what's happening all this week is social sewing. And we have some lovely ladies today, and there are spots still available for the rest of the week, right up till Saturday, including Saturday. And one other thing that's happening on Saturday, October 26th, of course, is the long arm certification class. So starting at 10 in the morning and going till 2, you can learn how to operate the big long arm machines. Doris will teach you how. And that class is $150 plus tax. And once you've had your certification, then you can come and join Kyle, Doris, Debbie's also here sometimes helping, and do your own quilting, which is kind of fun.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
That's
It's a great
right.
way to get projects done quickly. Or say your machine doesn't have a stitch regulator in it.
Okay.
Because
Or-
I know I'm not good at keeping my stitches even on free motion.
Free motion.
It's just not a skill I have.
It's just, yeah, okay.
But
I
our
agree.
long arms have stitch regulations.
Well,
So that
and
helps you to keep your stitches
Some
even.
people are very, very lucky in having quilting machines that of their own, or they have really wide throat neck areas, like the machine I'm working on today, the B735. He's got a big neck, which is much bigger than mine.
I like it, Sandy.
Yeah. So,
I have you ready to go.
All right, ready to
and
go?
I was just checking out what I'm checking here by looking down at the top of my fabric is to see if one of the sides is baggier than the other. And so to ease that, if one of your sides is baggier than the other, you're going to sew with that side down towards your feed dogs. Because what's going to happen is those feed dogs are going to help even that up and bring it through faster than the top.
That's exactly wonderful.
But I think on this side, it's pretty
looking
good. So I
pretty
think
good.
you can pick whatever side up you want.
All right, I think we'll go with this side up. And I am working on the Bernina B75, and I have my 1/4 inch piecing foot on. Gonna lower my feed dog, and then this has a hover motion, so this is good. I can align my foot before I step on the pedal, and I'm going to go in. I guess I should have changed to black thread, but you know what? You're not going to see this anyway. So
And if anybody notices they're looking too close,
yeah, that's right.
and they should not do that.
Don't look so close with my lovely thing. Okay, I'm trying to get it to back up just a little bit, but I kept hitting the wrong button. So
I like
never
it.
mind. We're just going to carry on. So this is a 1/4 inch seam. So we're just going to put this long border on.
Do you want to know
So-
my trick to not needing a second leader? If you do
What?
leaders and unders. So after you're done this, you could grab your
Oh.
bottom end and just start feeding it through.
And just start swinging it up.
and then you just
going.
make this funny shape.
Oh,
And
that's
then you don't have to cut the threads in between.
that is so cool. I like it.
It works if your project's big enough.
Yeah, so
Which
yeah,
this
to
one's
wrap,
big
this
enough.
one should be able to wrap around. So we'll give that a little test today and see
Kinda
how
make a
that
little
goes. I
circle.
think that's
Kinda
fun.
fun.
All right. I really like this machine. It's very similar to the one that I own at home. I feel very comfortable with its 1/4 inch and its smoothness and the sound of it, right?
Yeah, it's pretty lovely.
Yeah,
I like the
it.
735.
Okay.
And Sandy, I think after inspecting this one, I think you want to sew it the same way as you're doing that one.
Okay, sounds
With your skinny
marvelous.
border up.
Skinny border up. I like it. So we are more or less making a really nice little picture frame all the way around the outside of the panel that we selected. And I really like the colors that Dawn selected for our pattern.
They're really pretty.
I might have a little extra. Okay, never mind, I'm good. It will be all wonderful by the time I hit the end. There was a movie called The Second Best Marigold Hotel or something, and it said, if it's not all wonderful by the time you get there, then you're not finished yet. So I'm sure it will be. That's a paraphrase. That's not what they said in the movie, but yeah, it was a lovely movie. Had a great plot to it. All right, there we got to the end. Okay. Oop.
Okay, and I stuff this one in without hitting scissors.
I'm just gonna put my needle down. Come on. Okay, it's got one on the screen. Mine's on my button. Okay, here we go. I'm now going to bring the other quilt end up around, and I've got my needle down so I can put my presser foot up for just a sec and slide this under the presser foot, and we can take off again. Okay, there we go, Chelsea. Making a big circle.
Fabulous, Sandy.
All right.
This is definitely how I do borders at home, and then I just cut that thread after.
And then we're done.
And then I don't have long thread tails or short thread tails that I have to worry about.
That's a great idea. I just want to make sure my seam is laying flat before I go racing over it. I'm good at racing over seams. All right, so that's how you apply your borders. We have one more set of borders to sew onto this quilt. So they, of course, will not just be one strip, because now our quilt top is bigger. We're going to have to join our border strips. So that's going to be our next project, and we're going to show you how to do that as soon as I am finished with this streak. Okay.
It's looking pretty good, Sandy.
It's looking lovely. All right. At home, I would have used black thread because black with black, but here you can see my stitching. And we're going to get this done, no problemos.
To be honest, Sandy, if I was sewing a black border at home, I might still sew with the white.
That's true. I really find
Not gonna lie.
black on black is a tough one to sew. Not only is it a tough one to sew, but I find I can't see at nighttime either when I'm trying to do it.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I have a little bit of difficulty with that.
Another option is I've used a gray thread on my black, like a medium tone gray.
Gray, and that would work really, really well, Chelsea. Yeah, I think you're right.
All right.
All right, we'll finish that one. Okay, so there's our border, and then we're going to heat press this, and we would turn it up and press to the dark side. Like we did yesterday. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
When you say it like that.
Yeah. All right.
The dark side.
You can tell I'm a Star Wars person. Okay, I'm going to slide you back some pins, and I'm just going to hold this up so people can see maybe.
Oh, you want it in the front?
Yeah, we'll show a little bit. Okay, so this shows it with its borders, the black borders all on. So you can see that. Now we are going to put on our outside border, which is the wonderful, fun pumpkin fabric.
Because
It's pumpkins, isn't it? No, it's
Pumpkins
cats
and cats.
pumpkins and cats. All right. Okay, so let's get our fabric.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to cut our strips, and we're going to show you how to put them together to make that extra long border, because our borders are now long.
Short fabric everywhere.
All right. So,
And it looks like Sandy already pressed this.
well, I tried to press it a little bit, and then of course I threw it in my bag, and here it came to work. But okay.
Do you want to see the real reason why I learned how to cut right-handed?
Okay. Okay. Now she's got me
This is
curious.
why.
Oh.
Because then I don't have to flip it over after.
Afterwards. Oh, she's so smart. So we're just trimming the edges so that they are smooth and together, and then we'll start cutting our strips. And I guess I'll cut them the same as what they do tell us to cut in the pattern. I won't fool anymore.
There we go.
I'm
And
thinking I might.
what size am I cutting these, Sandy?
Well, I'm thinking that we have enough fabric that I could probably cut them at 4 inches.
Okay.
I'm thinking.
And I'm making sure I'm not using my 1/2 inch.
Okay, yes. Okay.
How many
That-
strips am I going to put, Sandy?
Because our pattern now, I think, is too long for a single strip, because I've now added 4 inches.
So I have 1.
Oh, I got it upside down. Yeah, so what is it this way? Can I get away with a single one across the top? I think I can get away with a single one across the top if I measure it correctly. If. Let me just see where we're at. Because we're still 34 inches, aren't we? Yes, we are. We're still 34 inches, so we can get a single
And then
strip
we'll add
across the top and a single
3.5.
Yeah.
So 41.
So if I take
how
a
my math
single
works?
strip, I can get a single strip across the top and across the bottom, but then we have to make a long one for the side. All right, so let's see.
And the answer is?
And the answer is, how long was that? All right, I think we're going to need 2 strips for the sides, because they right now are measuring at about 46, and our fabric is longer than that. But now I've got to add on the 4 inches. 846 is 52. So I'm going to definitely need 2 strips of border for the sides each. So
Okay.
that makes 6 strips all together.
6.
1 for top, 1 for bottom, and then 2 for the sides. Ta-da! I think that's exciting. All right. Yeah, she gives us, I think she said the same thing on hers when she did it. Yeah, 5 strips. Hey, we're pretty smart.
Sounds good.
We did good math.
3, 4.
Okay, we just need 1 more strip for our outer border. Boy, we got lots of good fabric left.
You could make something really fun
We
with
can
it.
make something fun with that.
What would you like to make with this?
I'm not sure. Oh, maybe it was for binding.
I think your orange dots
Yeah.
is for binding.
Yeah, well, I bought an orange dot, so I'm wondering if that was the binding.
Orange dots are in there, though.
Smart. Okay. All right, so let's take a little boo-boo here. What does the pattern say?
Okay, that's 5, Sandy.
Okay, that's what we need. So what we'll do is we'll trim the selvages off, all of them.
Okay, I'm just going to fold up our little extra piece of fabric here.
Yeah. Maybe that was what. Anyways, we have extra. Thank you, thank you. And we'll just trim the selvages off, and then we'll be ready to go. And we're just going to show you how to put the border together. Yeah, it says quilt top and binding.
Ah,
All right, so because there's enough, I think, of the, might be enough of the orange or the cat fabric to do the binding out of it. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to show everybody what I selected for my backing. Okay, while we're doing that, I got another joke for you.
okay, Sandy.
What did the cat say after making a bad joke?
I don't know.
Just kidding. All right, I only have one more, you guys. I'm sorry. Or thankfully, there's only one more joke for you.
I like more jokes.
Okay. All right. So we're just going to show you how to put together your border strip on the 45. And then your job then will be to take these strips and put your borders on, just the way Chelsea and I did this morning with the black borders. You're going to do the same with your orange borders. And you're going to start at the top and put the orange one at the top and the orange one at the bottom. And then you can put your sides on. But remember to measure everything really carefully.
Just grabbing a marking tool. Okay, so we're going to start with one right side up.
Mm-hmm.
And one right side down.
Oh. Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna mark where the top edge of this meets here
Yeah.
so that I can see it. 'Cause it's a little hard to see.
Yeah, sorry. I should have brought a better marking
It's
pencil.
okay. This will work.
Okay.
And I am going to not drop that one on the floor.
Okay. So we connect him with a 45 because that is actually the strongest seam. It's better than end to end. It's provides a little more stability to the seam. It's just like we do for our binding. We sew it and then we trim off the extra at the 1/4 inch.
Yep,
All right.
that's good.
Perfect. That looks lovely.
I'm gonna put some pins in for Sandy.
Okay. And also this one while you measure the next one. How's that? Or would you want to just finish
Well,
one?
I think the way, if we have 5 of them, we have to attach one more to here.
No, one more, two.
Because we'd only have
Oh.
3 left. So I think we're only going to use half of one of these.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So then I think we want to just add the other one to make a chain of 3 of them.
Oh, you're so smart.
I'm just guessing.
Okay, because
So
yeah.
I'll pre-pin that for you. Or
Okay.
you want to sew and
Also,
I can
okay.
mark over here while you do that.
All right, so here we are. We're going to just sew that diagonal, and this time we're going to sew right on that line. And drop our presser foot. Get that lined up nice and evenly. There we go. And chug along. Chuckle, 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 chuckle. And please don't run over the pins. It's not healthy for your machine to run over a pin. We're doing fabulous. Okay, so maybe we should cut a second strip then.
I think it'll be
Do you
okay.
think we'll have enough to do?
Because we should have about, it's 8 times 3, Sandy, 240.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you said they were 53 inches tall.
Yeah.
So we should have more than enough for
so
these
that's
3.
104. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other
Jesus.
2 will be
It's
one
like
pieces.
it's like the Kool-Aid man. Oh, yeah. Okay, perfect. All right, so I have that sewn on the diagonal. So when I open it up, boop, 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 boop. Oh, look at how nicely it lies down along that edge. We'll press that, and then our border will be lovely. Isn't that pretty? Yes, we'll trim off the back side and press it. That looks good, Chels.
Fantastic.
Okay.
I'm just finishing pinning these one up.
Okay, and then I'll sew that, and
So over here,
yeah.
I just did another one at the other end of what Sandy was sewing up.
Okay, and then I will
And then she's just going to sew.
doop, doop, doop. Okay, fabulous.
And I'm going to set up an ironing station.
Okay, sounds marvelous. All right, and we'll just lower our presser foot. Oh, look at that, right on that money. Right on the money, honey. And I really do love the way the Bernina starts. It does not wrap itself around a knot. Or maybe it just did. It tells me it just did. Okay, sorry about that. It says, you crazy woman. All right, Chelsea. It's giving me the gears.
You got the gears?
I got the gears of death. Okay, I'm just going to shut my machine off for a second. We might
Did it
not...
get tangled in your bobbin?
It did get tangled in my bobbin. Here I am bragging about it, and then I did it anyways. Okay, let's go back to the center for a second.
Okay, I'll put it on the top.
Yep, and then I will have to remove my
So while
stitching.
Sandy's doing that, I'm just ironing these nice and flat.
Okay.
Because it's always good to work with flat.
Okay. Chelsea, sorry, honey.
It's okay, Sandy. It's been a long time since I've had a...
Well, and so I've had a
machine
machine
thing.
boo-boo, and that
It's been a while.
I should
We've been doing
know
pretty
better.
good.
We've been doing great. I've had a series of lovely machines, and
Oh, hi.
there's my thread. Sorry, I've been busting out on the other side. All right, there's my little thread that got caught in there. There we go. Sorry, machine. I'm so sorry. Let me turn you back on and you adjust your little needle, buddy. And I won't be mean to you anymore. Right? Here we go. I'm sorry. Sorry, machine. Okay, but it's just a quick fix. You just go in and pull out that thread that I just jammed in there. Pulled out the bobbin. It's going to start back up.
I'm going to give you a pin again, Sandy.
Okay. Okay. And Mr. Bernina says, I love you.
Wakey, wakey.
Wakey, wakey. All right. Put my bobbin back in now that I've got all my congestion cleared. All right.
You're making it sound like he had a cold.
Yeah. I had a little bit of a oops. Oops.
It happened.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for putting my tray back. I'll rethread my machine.
Right. Let's
Beautiful.
go back to here.
Thank you.
And our camera moved.
Oh, I'm sorry. I banged it. Okay. Are we back
There we
on?
go.
Are we back on? Are we
We're back in the right spot.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. And my bobbin is, my machine is back up and running. Okay. So I guess I should use a little leader and try not to make another knot. Okay. Would that be a fair assumption?
I like that, Sandy.
Okay, there we go. All right, I'm
Here,
going to just start
would you like
here.
this?
I've got a little piece. I got a little piece of
Okay.
black. Thanks. Oh, look at us go now. Woo, we're perfect. Okay,
It's happier.
it's happier. It loves me again. And I'm just going to cut off a little hairy monster I made there. Okay, here we go. Back on. You know, I just love Bernina's. I can remember the first time I did something to my Bernina, and all I could think of was, oh, I can't take it back to Max because he's going to see what I did and he's going to say, Sandy, keep your fingers out of the machine. Because I thought I was smart enough to be able to go fast enough to wipe the thread out of the way while it was embroidering.
Sandy,
Needless-
rule number one.
Yep, keep your fingers out of the machine. And I broke the needle. I panicked because I didn't know what to do. I called my husband to come and bring me something because my finger was stuck on it. And we had to cut the thread and pull the needle out. But my needle bar was crooked. So I gently...
Your finger must have really hurt
Oh my
after
God,
that,
did it.
Sandy.
Yes, I shut the machine off and I thought, I can't take it to Max. What's he going to say? I shut the machine off. I gently pulled down my needle bar component. It slipped back into place, turned it back on, and I put a new needle in and away I went. And I didn't even get a drop on the quilt.
May I have your little scissors?
You sure may. So I just know that Berninas are built for Sandy. They will last through anything that I can possibly throw at it.
All right, I'm just going to test before we cut.
All right.
That looks pretty good.
Does that look good?
So that's seam one.
I kind of fell.
Oh, there's our other seam.
Yeah.
I was like, where is it?
Yeah, it's hiding away there. I think that's
Looks
perfectly
pretty
wonderful
good.
too.
Okay.
Yep.
So I am just going to move my ironing board out of the way for a quick sec and cut off our extra.
Okay.
Maybe I'll send this over to you for a second,
Okay.
Sandy.
I'll hang on to that. Yeah. Okay. I got it.
Move all of our tails everywhere. So when I cut this, I want to make sure I'm cutting off this side, not that side. Maybe I'll rotate.
You know, I could see myself doing that the wrong way.
I suggest doing that because I've definitely done it.
Then you're looking at yourself and going, boy, I'm really glad I got extra fabric.
So I'm going to cut about 1/4 of an inch away from our stitches.
Okay, perfect.
So that's the first cut, and then we'll find our extra seam.
Oh, over here.
There it is.
There it is.
Same thing. And I like making sure all of my border is flat because then I don't accidentally hack into my border either.
Ah, good idea. That would happen.
Don't ask me why I do that. Yep, no.
Yeah. These things happen when you're deep in thought. All right.
We're not gonna talk about accidents today.
No, not today. We are good.
Now we're just gonna give these a press.
Okay, and then how do we do it? Find the center and cut it so that we have equal amount for both sides?
To be honest, I just usually cut off of one end and then I cut off the other end. Yeah. And then usually my seams wind up on different sides, but equally in on the top and bottom.
Ah, okay.
usually I find that the bias seam usually kind of blends enough that
you won't see it. Yeah.
I don't worry too much. Our kitty cats, there's
Yeah,
a little
we
butt.
got a little butt.
Just a butt.
Just a little butt going on, but that's all right. Nobody's going to notice the butt.
Yeah.
Well, even if they do, who cares?
If they do, it's like one of those teasers, you know?
Yeah, it's a teaser.
It's a tushy.
It's a tushy.
And I like going in and opening up my seam allowance.
Okay. Yeah. Especially on these ones, the bigger borders.
Yeah, you don't have to. I just like to.
I think it's
Could
the
leave it
ironing
pressed one
thing.
way, but it's the ironing thing.
It's the ironing thing to
The
do.
Chelsea likes to iron thing. I'm gonna iron this spot.
Oh yeah, we got it.
Press it into submission. Come over here.
Don't burn yourself. All right.
There's another butt. Another butt.
Oh yeah. It's always ifs, ands, and buts, isn't it?
You know, it's okay that
It's
we have
okay.
butts. I like it. I think this will be a conversational piece.
I think so. Halloween butts. All right. While we're doing that, I have one more joke. Are you ready?
Yep.
How did the baby cat learn to swim?
I don't know.
In the kiddie pool.
Oh gosh, that's cute.
Sorry. Okay, I'll stop telling jokes now.
I think we
All
have
right.
one more fold to press out.
Okay. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Okay, thank you. I love having a live audience. It's so much fun.
Okay, so those are all pressed.
Okay, so that's our border. And then, of course, we're going to continue to put them on as we did with our black one. Chels, do you want to have a... We're going to stop right there. I want to talk about... I want to front. I want to front.
Is that what you want?
Yeah, that's what I want.
You see, I don't know where the top went, Sandy.
Oh, I'm hiding the top.
Okay, you have it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we are going to press out our top. We are going to put our cat border on the top. We are going to put the cat borders on the side, and we will press this baby and make it beautiful. So the reason we'll come back to this because on Monday, or not Monday, sorry, Monday minute, on Tuesday, we're going to take this quilt to the long armor for intake, because I know that people sometimes have questions about how to get their quilt prepped for long arming. So we're going to talk about some of our things that we require of people when they bring their quilts in. So the one thing is that you bring it in 3 pieces: back, front, and batting if you have it. If you don't have a batting, don't put it together. No sandwiching, no pins. 3, because Kyle and Doris load it one at a time. So we're going to talk about that on Tuesday, about how to intake this quilt. So I have my work cut out for me because I got to finish putting the borders on, and I have to make my backing.
The good news is the border pieces are all together, so all you have to do is cut them
I got
and then attach them.
And attach them.
And if you want, I'll pin them for you.
And there you go. See, she's going to help me get it done. So I have that ready for Tuesday. So you'll see the finished top on Tuesday, and I'll have the backing ready, and then we can talk about inputting it into and picking out a design and the colors and everything. Oh, I can't wait for that. That will be so much fun.
How many ways we can customize it?
I like it. I like it very much. Okay, so tomorrow on Facebook, we're talking about the brother launch party we had, and you'll be talking with Cam. So that's exciting.
Cam was at the event.
Yeah.
So was I, but Cam was also at the event.
So it's through his fresh eyes, because we went to the brother workshop, and then Cam now didn't do that. So now he got to do the presentation, the launch. So I'd like to hear his thoughts. That would be kind of fun. All right, so that's on Facebook, YouTube tomorrow. On Friday, we don't have one. Anne is leaving for market, and if she might hook up with us from Houston, and she might not.
Yeah,
So,
we'll see. Hopefully she gets some Wi-Fi.
yeah, that was the problem in Chicago, was the Wi-Fi was difficult.
It wasn't very good.
And she only came on once, and it was in the middle of the afternoon, and I was able to catch it on my lunch break. But so probably no Facebook Friday unless Anne can make a miraculous Wi-Fi presentation there. Okay. So that's kind of what's happening this week and what we're going to do for the start of next week. But I want to share something with you that I thought was adorable.
Is it the pattern you're obsessed with right now?
I'm obsessed with this
pattern. In a good way. It's so cute. Do you want to show it on the close-up?
Oh, maybe. Okay, so...
Might have to move the close-up back a bit.
Okay, back up close-up. Pining for Christmas.
Or I suppose I could put it on the top here.
It kind of got blurry.
Here we go.
Okay, here, do top.
This might be easier.
That might be better.
It's kind of glary. Let's pop it out.
Okay, pop it open. I thought this was absolutely adorable. And it lends itself to so many fabrics. It isn't a particular line, it's colors. So in this one it did reds and blues on a cream background. But we have that beautiful Snowman's Gathering winter one, so which would look beautiful with as a blue and cream background. Or Dawn, of course, thinking out of the box all the time. She said, what would happen if you had a darker blue background and you made the trees like they were sparkly, creamy trees? And then I think that would be beautiful. And then my thought was, that kind of looks like a star. I think maybe we could do it in different colors.
You could probably do a yellow up there, yeah?
Yeah, or something, or magic. Oh,
pretty.
Man,
you know,
how pretty would that be?
You could. Mm-hmm. Here's what I learned on Thursday. Mm-hmm. When you go to quilt this baby, you could use some wonderful threads like glamour.
Oh.
And then you would get your sparkles in there.
Wouldn't that be beautiful? I think that would be
so
gorgeous.
Pretty. You can stitch down here with some pretty thread.
Oh, that would be absolutely gorgeous. And you know what? This pattern, it looks like you could make this into a table runner, a wall hanging, placemats, just because you repeat making the trees, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
right?
You could just take a chunk of it and make a chunk.
Yeah, and make a chunk. I think that would be absolutely beautiful. Anyways, that's the newest one that just came in. It's from Wendy Shepherd. It's called Pining for Christmas. And if you were to make it, it ends up being about 71 inches by 88 inches.
It's a nice size.
I think it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyways, that's for another day, maybe. Anyways, I hope you had a little fun with us on our Meow-Gical Halloween. What did we just make? Quilt.
We made a quilt. Yep.
Okay, next week, besides taking an the quilt intake, we're also going to use the same line, Meow-Gical Halloween, and use the placemat panel, and we're going to make some placemats with mitered corners.
I'm excited.
I think that would be fun.
I didn't know we were doing that. I'm excited.
Oh, she's excited. I surprised her.
I like miterings.
Mitered. Well, and I'm going to show you a pattern that we have here at the store that works really slick for mitered corners, and it's you can't lose.
Nope.
Can't lose with it. Anyways, that's what's happening the rest of this week and into next week, and I guess that's it for today, everybody.
That's all I have too, Sandy.
It was Meow-Gical.
It's always Meow-Gical hanging out with you, Sandy.
We fit our cat ears lovely, don't we? I love yours. They're sparkly.
Thank you. I've had them a while. Yeah. I don't even know where I got them.
They're cute. They're adorable. All right. Thanks, everybody. And we'll see you tomorrow for Facebook.
Yep.
And I'll see you